Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayla and this is my AuthorTube channel, Behind the Manuscript. And if you're not new here, then you know it's been a while. Yeah, so this fall has been kicking my butt. My day job, fall is busy season. I also started a graduate program. If you watched my last video, you know that that is a creative writing program. I will link that video below. I chat a little bit more about that and what's been going on lately. So yeah, I've been busy with that. It has consumed more of my time than I realized it was going to. So I've been pretty quiet on this channel as well as Instagram. I haven't been too active on there either. I've got that going on. My kitten is still kittening. This video, as promised, is going to be all about Project Marbles. If you're new here, Project Marbles is my paranormal horror that I have been pitching as a story about two women who go into a quiet Appalachian town in search of themselves, both going through heartache, and they run across some masked strangers who rip their identities apart. And if you heard that thump, that is Mojo, that is my kitten. Love her to death. She's a menace, but she's great. Love her. Okay. So that is my paranormal horror. So I promised a video all about Project Marbles. When I started this channel, I was in the middle of writing, I want to say either the first or second draft. And so you were not along with me for the entire ride of Project Marbles, but for the majority of it. So I wanted to just give a little breakdown of my process of writing that book, and I also wanted to reveal the title that I'm querying with, and I'm doing that by sharing a personal copy of the book that I printed through Barnes & Noble Press. I designed the cover on Canva and sent it off to be in press to be printed as a gift to my beta readers, also so that I could have my own personal copy of the book in the form that it was sent out to agents. And we will touch a little bit on querying in this video. I am working on making a querying journey video, so I won't go too much into detail about it, but a little bit here. So I've got my notes on these giant chalkboard pads, and let's dive in. I was trying to decide if I wanted to share the personal copy first and the title, or share the notes, but I think we're gonna go in order of how everything transpired, so we'll save this for last. Okay, so I started writing Project Marbles on August 22nd of last year, so that is 2024. When I started writing the manuscript, I had an idea of like what I wanted to write, what I wanted the end goal to be, and I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted the book to start, and the start of the book was very much inspired by a true event that happened in my own life. And I knew the second scene that I wanted to happen, and then kind of in the middle, I went through the Save the Cat beats and kind of wrote down what things I wanted to happen. But that was like a very, very, very loose version of an outline. And the first outline I've written, but I did find that it helped having even that loose version of an outline for me to make it through this book. I typically pants books, and then I always end up with plot holes. So this was nice to have that kind of like guide. So I think I'm gonna try to do that moving forward with my next projects. So I started writing Project Marbles with a goal of 70,000 words in mind, because then I knew I could like flesh it out a little bit and have some wiggle room to not go too crazy with the word count, but also kind of like beef it up a little bit more. So I started writing it on August 22nd and I finished on December 20th. I finished writing it on December 20th of 2024. So almost 4 months to the day I got through that draft. That was a little bit longer than I anticipated because I did have a second surgery in November last year, and it was on my elbow and my wrist, so it was a little hard to write during that recovery time, but I was happy with getting it done in 4 months, and I was able to get it done right before the holidays so that I could take a full like 2 weeks off to refresh and relax before I dove into the second draft. So I don't have dates for the subsequent drafts, but I did make little notes for each draft. Draft 2 is where I added Tanner's point of view. So I started the story with just Willa, who is our main character, our main girl. And Tanner's POV is more like interstitials, so they are like very small little blurb chapters, but they are important. What are you doing? Can you get down? Anyway, her POV is important to the story. It's necessary. So once I added her POV, I finished draft 2 with 82,929 words. So we increased by just about 3,000 words adding her POV. So once I did that, I edited the draft again, got draft 3, and I sent that to my first 2 beta readers who are both author friends of mine. And from there, that draft that I sent to my first round of beta readers was 84,380 words. And once I went through their notes and revised again, I got a draft 4, and that pushed it up to 89,289 words. One moment, please. And then I sent draft 4 off to, I sent it off to 5 betas. One of those betas was, no, 2 of those betas were supposed to read the first round of beta reading, but they could not with their schedule, but they were able to do the second round, so that's why it was 5 the second round. But then from the 5, I got feedback from 2, so I had a total of 4 beta readers that I got feedback from. So after that, I actually knocked the draft down from 89,289 words to 89,094 words. So that was the final word count in the book before I decided to start querying. So I was able to get draft 5 and final, is what I called it as I was working on it. And I began querying Project Marbles on July 31st. And as of this recording, I have sent out 22 queries. I received 1 partial, which ultimately ended in a rejection, and I received 11 straight rejections, and so I still have 10 queries that are active right now. I have not sent any other queries. Most of my, besides the partial, obviously, my straight rejections were all form, so I did not get any feedback. So I don't know if my query's not working, if my opening pages are not working. So I did workshop my query with my writing group again, and I did send the original query to the Shit No One Tells You About Writing podcast, their Books with Hook segment. Don't know if it's going to get picked, obviously, but I sent my original query and the first 5 pages over to them. So if it does get picked, that would be awesome to hear some feedback on what is potentially not working. I also applied for RevPit 10 queries, and stop. I did apply to RevPit's 10 queries and got selected. And for that, I sent them my workshopped query, so my new query and my opening pages, same opening pages. So I will get feedback. Excuse me. I'm trying to record. So I will get feedback from that, so that'll be nice to hear. And that is, I believe, from editors. And so, yeah, we'll see what they have to say. And I am definitely open to workshopping the query again, or workshopping my opening pages. And so once I get the feedback from that, which should be this coming up Friday, October 24th, I believe. So once I get feedback from that, then I'll kind of know whether to move forward with querying just with my new query letter, or if I need to go back and look at those opening pages. So that's where we're at. That's where we started from August last year, August 2024, until now. And I am currently working on creating a beat sheet for my newest project. I don't know what my project name is going to be yet. I am debating with a couple, but we'll talk about that in another video. So now I am going to finally reveal the name of Project Marbles on YouTube and show you the personal copy that I created, and that's actually going to be here first. I have not shown this on Instagram or Substack yet, so that is a YouTube exclusive. So the title of Project Marbles that I have been querying with is She Doesn't Live Here. So here she is. Please ignore my nails. I know I need to get them done. Okay. So here she is. She's gorgeous. Yeah, very subtle, very ominous. We've got the cabin, the woods, and of course, you know, some cracks because things are not what they seem. Okay, and then, you know, the ominous clouds, all that kind of stuff. So she's pretty thick. She would be thicker. This is a little bit bigger than a trade paperback, but I have the Scrivener app on my iPad, so it's not like on my desktop, so it doesn't have quite all of the features that regular Scrivener has, and this like size was the only size that I could download the manuscript that also matched one of the sizes available on Barnes & Noble Press. So she would probably be a little bit smaller this way and this way, which would mean this would be even thicker. So I was very happy with that. So yes, title, name, and then I designed the front and back cover, and then they just had like a basic spine that you could create. If you know how to do a full wrap, you can do a full wrap. I am not a book cover designer, so I just did front and back. And then on the back, I would be really cute to take blurbs from my beta readers to put on the back of the book, because this was also created as a gift to thank them for their hard work. This book would not be in this form, in this version, without their help. I wanted to do that for them. I do want to read the quotes from my friends. That's what it looks like. You can pause to read if you don't want to hear my voice, because I'm about to read it to you. Okay. So, praise for She Doesn't Live Here. This is one of the women in my writing group, and she says, it was a page turner, super creative, and I like the message in it. And the next woman on here is one of my friends that I met through Instagram. Deary, no, I met her on Instagram first, and then she introduced me to a group during the 1,000 Words of Summer challenge last year. And that's actually how I met the two women in my writing group. I happened to be local, so we started a group after that, so that was great. Okay, so the next quote says, I loved the eerie, unsettling pieces that kept me turning the pages. Then the next one is from the other woman in my writing group, and she says, I am so impressed by this book and the writing. The suspense and tension are done masterfully. And then the last quote is from my stepsister, who did the second round of beta reading, where I had asked a few of my friends and family who are very into reading, especially like horror and thrillers and things like that. So her quote says, the story builds suspense and creates a truly eerie atmosphere. I was genuinely creeped out at times. It had me on edge. So this is her. This is my baby. This is the one I hope to secure an agent with, but if not, I will not be shelving her forever. If I get an agent with a different book, I will definitely be pulling this one back out and, saying what can we do with her, because she deserves to be read by other people who like creepy, scary books set in a dark, creepy mountain town with, a little bit of Appalachian lore. You know what I'm saying? So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video all about Project Marbles, also known as She Doesn't Live Here. And yeah, I'm happy to be able to share this with you all, and I will catch you in the next video, which I can say is going to be the monthly matcha for September, because we're nearing October, so I should probably get that out so that I can then do October monthly matcha. I miss you guys. I miss creating these videos, and I'm hoping to get in a little bit more of a rhythm to kind of get back to more frequent videos. I still cannot promise weekly. I can't do that right now, not with school. There's a lot of life things happening in my personal life, but also my friends, lots of babies, lots of weddings, and yeah, so I'm gonna do my best, but I do need to get the September monthly matcha video out. Hopefully next week. That's what we're gonna hope for. So anyways, thanks for being here. I hope you get to read her one day, and I will catch you next time. Bye.